These are 10 everyday habits that are quietly killing pet birds in ordinary homes, and 3 specific changes that give your bird a real shot at living out its full lifespan. Every fact you're about to hear comes from avian veterinarians, veterinary manuals, and published case studies, not internet myth, and by the end, you'll know exactly what to remove from your home and exactly what to add. Let's get into it. We're starting with the one that kills fastest and kills quietly. It's called PTFE toxicosis, PTFE being the chemical name for Teflon. And here's the part that surprises most owners. Your bird doesn't even need to be in the kitchen for this to be fatal. VCA, Animal Hospitals, puts it plainly. Birds don't have to share the room where PTFE items are being used for poisoning to occur. The sources go way beyond your frying pan too. Air fryers, toaster ovens, waffle irons, self-cleaning ovens, heat lamps, even certain hair dryers can carry this coating, and the temperature it takes to turn dangerous is lower than most people assume. The Merck Veterinary Manual notes that fluoropolymers can start releasing particles at normal cooking temperatures, which means a pan doesn't have to be visibly burning for the danger to be real. The signs, when they show up, are brutal and fast: open mouth breathing, tail bobbing, wobbling, seizures, or an owner simply finding their bird collapsed with no warning at all. One documented case out of Michigan State University described birds showing eyelid blinking within 8 to 10 minutes of exposure, progressing into open beak panting and convulsions, with death following in as little as 17 to 27 minutes. In a separate case, a duck research facility using PTFE coated heat lamps lost over 400 ducklings within 5 days. The fix here isn't complicated. Stainless steel, cast iron, carbon steel, or glass, and nothing else. This next one catches new owners off guard because it seems so harmless. Avocado contains a compound called persin, and while it's completely harmless to humans, in birds it can cause fluid buildup around the heart and lungs, and sudden death. Budgerigars, cockatiels, lovebirds, and Amazon parrots are especially vulnerable, and the doses that matter here are tiny. Veterinary sources put the lethal amount in budgies at around 3.5 grams, and in canaries, it's as little as 2 grams that can kill. Symptoms can show up within 15 to 30 minutes of ingestion, starting with weakness, reluctance to perch, ruffled feathers, and difficulty breathing. And once the breathing problems start, death usually follows quickly. This isn't some new discovery either. Persin was identified as the toxic agent back in the 1970s and has been documented in veterinary journals ever since. If you eat avocado toast anywhere near your bird, that's a habit worth breaking today. Your bird's own enclosure can be poisoning it slowly, and this one's called zinc toxicity, sometimes nicknamed new wire disease. It comes from galvanized metal, cages, wire, clips, and hardware coated in zinc to stop rust, and that coating can run up to 99.9% zinc. Birds chew by nature, so picking at cage bars day after day lets zinc build up quietly in the liver, kidneys, and pancreas over time. In cockatiels, exposure to as little as 2 milligrams a week can be fatal, and the warning signs include excessive urination, staggering, greenish diarrhea, weight loss, and feather picking. Even ordinary household objects near your bird carry risk. A penny minted after 1983 packs roughly 2,400 milligrams of elemental zinc. If you don't know what your cage is coated in, that's worth finding out now, not later. This is probably the most common mistake on this entire list, and it's the one owners rarely realize is a mistake at all. Seed mixes run high in fat and low in the nutrients birds actually need, and chronic overconsumption leads to fatty liver disease, obesity, low blood calcium, and, in older Amazon, African gray, and Quaker parrots specifically, atherosclerosis, the same artery clogging process that shows up in humans eating high-fat diets for years. Veterinary sources are blunt about it. Malnutrition is the single most frequently diagnosed condition in pet birds, and it's rarely intentional. Most owners simply were never told that seed belongs in the treat category, not the foundation. The fix is a base diet of formulated pellets supplemented with fresh vegetables, something avian vets have pushed for 2 decades now specifically to counter this exact problem. This one's specific to smaller birds like budgies and cockatiels, and it can genuinely be fatal. Birds see poorly in the dark, so if something startles them at night, a noise, a shadow, an insect in the cage, they can go into a blind panic and start thrashing against the bars and perches. And here's where it gets worse. If one bird in a shared cage panics, it can set off the others too. The injuries range from broken blood feathers to broken necks, and there's a documented case of a 12-year-old cockatiel who had a night fright during a thunderclap, flew into the side of his cage, and died from the impact. A simple nightlight near the cage is often enough to stop the disorientation that causes this in the first place. If your bird ever flies free in your home, a spinning ceiling fan is one of the deadliest things it can encounter. Estimates put small bird mortality from fan strikes, and birds like finches and budgies, somewhere between 70 and 90%, and the injuries include broken bones, lacerations, and head trauma. There are documented cases of small parrots being decapitated by fan blades outright, and even on a low setting, a fan can cause serious harm. The rule here is simple and non-negotiable. If your bird is out, the fan is off. Even birds with clipped wings can still slam into a window or mirror hard enough to injure themselves, and open windows or doors remain one of the most common ways pet birds escape for good. There's a less obvious danger too. Birds often like to perch on top of an open interior door, and if that door gets closed without anyone checking first, the result can be a serious injury, or worse. This is one of those risks that costs nothing to fix. It just takes everyone in the house getting into the habit of checking before they close a door. This might be the most surprising entry on the whole list. Birds, especially small ones like budgies, have drowned in uncovered toilet bowls, in dog and cat water dishes, in fish tanks left without lids, and even in half-empty drinking glasses sitting on a counter. It sounds almost too simple to be a real threat, but bird owners and rescue organizations have documented it again and again. The fix is just as simple: lids down, bowls covered, glasses kept out of reach. Birds have an extremely efficient respiratory system, and that's exactly what makes them so much more sensitive to airborne chemicals than we are. Standard air fresheners can be life-threatening to birds, even the ones marketed as non-toxic for humans, and aerosol sprays of any kind, canned air fresheners, deodorant, hairspray, are considered toxic to parrots outright. Incense puts a similar strain on their lungs through smoke and concentrated fragrance. And even essential oils aren't automatically safe. Tea tree oil specifically has been documented causing liver damage in at least one cockatiel case. Wanting your home to smell good is a fair goal. Just don't let the method be an aerosol can or an open flame anywhere near your bird's airspace. Rounding out the list, tobacco smoke, nail polish remover, mineral spirits, gasoline, glues, paints, and mothballs are all hazardous to birds. Long-term smoke exposure in particular can damage a bird's respiratory system, cause eye and skin problems, and leave it more vulnerable to infections down the line. If anyone in your household smokes indoors, your bird can't opt out of that exposure. It's breathing whatever you're breathing. Here's the pattern running through every single item on this list. Birds are prey animals, and prey animals hide illness instinctively, because showing weakness in the wild gets you killed by a predator. And in your living room, that instinct means your bird can be sick for a long stretch before you ever see a sign of it. And by the time symptoms are obvious, the underlying problem is often already serious. That single fact is why what comes next matters more than anything else in this video. First, rebuild the diet. Move away from an all-seed mix and build meals around formulated pellets supplemented with fresh vegetables, and that one change alone addresses fatty liver disease, obesity, and the nutrient deficiencies avian veterinarians say they diagnose more than anything else. Second, bird-proof the physical space. Non-stick cookware gone, ceiling fans off whenever your bird is flying free, windows and screens secured, doors checked before closing, and standing water, toilets, bowls, glasses, covered or kept out of reach. Almost every trauma death on this list is preventable with nothing more than these checks. Third, get regular checkups with a vet who actually specializes in birds, not just visits when something's already visibly wrong. Because birds mask illness so well, conditions like fatty liver disease or heavy metal buildup can progress a long way before there's anything to notice from the outside, and a vet who knows birds can catch that early. While there's still something to be done about it, none of these 10 habits take a dramatic lifestyle change to fix, just awareness most owners were never given in the first place. If you want to go deeper on the smartest bird breeds you can own, click here.